As I'm one of those people that really suck at these sort of games, I've never really gotten into the whole bullet storm type genre. In fact, I've never really got it either. But what I am a fan of is vampires and things that go with that sort of genre. So I had to try this one out. So like and subscribe the video, and if I get 100 likes on this video, I will be giving out some free Nintendo Switch keys. And these will be for random games of whatever, but don't blame me if they suck, because they probably will. At least you'll be getting a free game. Hey! And I'll give the video until the 20th of the 8th, 2023, which is 4 days, in order to gain those 100 likes. If not, then I won't be giving out any keys. And so with all that said, let's get on with the video, shall we? Story-wise, trapped in a hellish nightmare with unrelenting spawns of monsters coming after you. It is up to you to last as long as you can, or as it says, until dawn. Because monsters don't like to stay up after bedtime. Right, so as explained before, this is a bullet hell fucking nightmare of a game, but it's actually playable for me. Normally I just can't do these sort of games, I just can't get my head round it. But for some reason, this kind of like feels different. Whilst playing the game, basically it fires for you. Now I've seen this done in other games, but this one does it a little bit better. The only real things that you're asked during the actual gameplay is A, don't get hit, B, collect orbs for power-ups, and C, collect coins to unlock extra things later on. The movement style is actually really well done, it is fluid, it never had a problem, and yeah, it just felt right. Although I will say it may start hurting your fingers after a while. You can move in any direction, up, down, left, right, or diagonal, and basically the game just keeps going, and going, and going, and going. And you just survive longer and longer and longer with the timer going up. And basically, it's all to see how long you can last. I found there was a good array of different creatures in the game, and wow, they just keep coming and coming and coming. Different sizes, different speeds, different creatures, bats, which seem to be the most simplest, easy to kill, right up to like this flower mob that basically surrounds you, and you kind of like stand there trying to destroy this plant or plants, and other mobs are coming from all different directions, and it just gets insane. And then you can just go for walks and see how far you can get. And I haven't reached the end, if indeed there is an end, or whether it just loops round again. There's actual vampires, there's actual massive mantis things, and creatures that I think are like swamp things and mummies and all sorts, all with varying health and damage and just all sorts of madness within this game. I will say I kind of felt overwhelmed the first time I played it, and I dipped in thinking I'll just have a quick go and then go. But no, I had a quick go and it lasted for about 3 minutes. And then I had another go, and then I worked out that getting orbs and destroying certain things that give orbs, basically you then get to upgrade your character on the fly. And there's a shit ton of these to get. Speed, augmentations, more firepower, higher firepower, more different things floating around you, orbs that come out made of garlic, sort of like projectile thing that basically does damage to the enemy if they come close to you. Although this did actually make the gameplay a little bit easier for me. Even with this, I then died eventually. And you'd think I'd have enough there? No, I had to resurrect myself and come back again. There's even certain creatures that are like coloured blue that give different things out, and some that gives chests. Yes, there are chests in this game, and even these are marvellous. Grabbing one of these bad boys, it spews out lots of money and all sorts of different things, and eventually just giving you an augmentation for free. Not random though. And one of the biggest things that I love about this game is the fact that you have to think about what you're doing. It's not just wander around, go here, go there, and just avoid a load of monsters. Because of this collect these orbs and level up type ability, you have to basically think about where you're going. The creatures will always follow you, which means that if you go up and around and back down, you can get those orbs and basically mop up to go up another level. and after a while it can get very tactical, and it gets tactical depending on what weapon you have as well. Like there's these bats that fly out, or like loads of them all at the same time, and normally it's best to actually avoid them. But if you've got the garlic shimmer thing around you, it's best to go towards these creatures and basically destroy them to pick up all the drops that they leave behind. And I think for me, I think that's one of the biggest draws to this game, is the fact that it's not just avoid this, avoid that. It's having to think about where to go next, what to do next. Wow, look at that cluster, but there's loads of mobs around it. How do I get them away, or how do I just get to it? And this is done in a very minimalistic way. I mean, when I looked at it, I thought, eh. And then when you actually die and you go to this menu, which shows pretty well like a rundown of what's happened during the actual gameplay, you also get achievements, and there are a lot of achievements. And then going back to the menu, you can upgrade your character with different buffs, like speed and extra health and all that sort of thing. And then added to all of that, you gain more of these abilities by unlocking them as you play. And trust me, we're not just talking about 1 or 2, we're talking about 99 of them. And if the ones that I've unlocked so far have anything to go by, they all have different levels that you can actually then go and buy as well. And that's not to mention the 131 collectibles. These are just basically what you collect, the actual weapons and everything. But it's nice to see it there. It's nice to like click on it and go, oh, look, I've got that. And look what I've unlocked from that run. And then on top of that, you have 4 different characters. The first one obviously unlocked from the beginning with a whip. The second one is a female magic caster. The third one is a male magic sort of caster. And the fourth one I've not even unlocked yet, because you have to spend that precious coin on them. And each of them have different buffs of their own, and each of them use different types of a style, if you like, a weapon or a projectile, different from the others. And I have to admit, my favourite is the female magic caster, but you can actually get the abilities of the other characters as you play though. By now you've probably guessed I really enjoy this game. It really is freaking brilliant. It is so much fun just to try and get further and further on into it. In the actual Nintendo Switch version, it's got 4-player co-op multiplayer, which is pretty darn cool. It's definitely not the most expensive game that I've seen, which is even more cool. Graphically, it's very sparse. I mean, literally hardly anything a lot of the time on the screen. But who cares when the actual gameplay is this much fun? He has tapped into something really good here that really makes you want to carry on playing. One more go. But I'm guessing at some point it will start getting a little bit too much on that repetitiveness. But for now, who cares? I'm having too much fun. Sound-wise is equally as good. The music is really cool. Pretty basic again, but kind of like thumping, keeps you going, keeps the old heart tickling on along, and the blood flowing like the river of something vampire. And with that all, I'm gonna nip over to the score side of the game. In short, Vampire Survivors is a really relentless, chaotic, really good fun game that I would basically recommend to almost every person. I'm not really into this sort of game. I fucking enjoy it. Playing this multiplayer probably just as much of a blast as playing it single player. And it is fracking addicting as addicting comes. There's plenty to collect, and while the gameplay is kind of basic, it does make you think as you play. And the addition of those orbs for power-ups and those coins to unlock extra things and characters is just the icing on the cake as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to give Vampire Survivors a 9 out of 10. It is that good for me, and I'm going to be playing this game for a long time. I might even stream it just so that I can show everyone how good this game is. Vampire Survivors is on the Nintendo Switch, it's on the PC, it's also on Game Pass at the moment for free. And I'm pretty sure it's also on all your other major consoles. You'll be picking it up on the Nintendo eShop US for $4.99 or the UK eShop for £3.99 or its equivalent in the EU. It's also £3.99 on the Steam store, which I'm believing is probably the same in dollars in the US. And as I mentioned before, it's also free on Game Pass. Well, that's your lot. I hope you enjoyed it. and I really enjoy doing this one. Feel free to leave a comment down below on your thoughts on Vampire Survivors. In fact, indeed, whether you'll be picking it up. It's a great price for this game as well. And as I always say, it's nice to see devs not overpricing their games. Go ahead once again, hit those like and subscribe buttons, and again, if I hit 100 likes within this video before this Sunday coming, I will give out a couple of free Nintendo Switch random games. So you have 4 days to share the video and get the message out there. Come and join us in our community Discord, and until next time, take care of yourselves, be safe out there, because life is better when we game together.